Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm tired. Okay, so these are readings from yesterday. And I don't know if I'll pull the current energy. I might. We'll see how tired I am. I'm going to go back to bed, I think. Okay. So this one's called Convicted. Okay, and right before I got on, I heard sirens in the distance. This one's called Ritual Tower Backfire. Killer faking it to be making it. Okay? And then I heard Kid Killer faking it to be making it. Okay? Significant evidence that their target is not a not a copycat intuitive. They are legitimate. Okay? Somebody's convicted for planting or forging evidence on an original intuitive target. And then I heard original copied documents. So like not the original documents that are issued, but like a copy of those documents that is like forged. Okay, so original copied documents. Intentional arrest of the past. Okay, to this intuitive, they wanted to allow others who were not witness to this false arrest to justify their preconceived judgments, considering they had no prior convictions. Okay, so they arrested this intuitive on, it was like a false arrest. Okay, this was intentional. They needed something to point the guilt card at in order to have the public to have no appreciation for the evidence that this intuitive is to have about this improper judgment call of the past. It's evident that this jealous fraud spent all their time convincing others and themselves that you were a hater in this scenario. As they sat on your investments unofficially, misguided anything you chose to try to accomplish, tormented, and tried to keep you blind to them setting you up to frame you for their organized crimes, and flaunting false evidence to have others stalk and betray you as well. And then I was getting that all arrests and raids within like the past 5 years were surrounding this fraud. And they were trying to like project that energy onto the intuitive that they frauded out. Okay, this one's called Seriously Thought That They Could Influence Others to Kill You. Off their own bullshit. Somebody shook, they're in shock at new information. Shocked at the fact that of how many teamed up to make false reports through their devices. Okay, their devices that were linked to your number or your email. Okay, so this is like a clone device situation. They were sending like real-time tips of crimes that they knew people within their group or that they planned to have happen. Okay, they're sending in these tips through someone's email or their number, through someone's name for sure. Okay, or if one of them had organized or did the crime, they would tip it off onto somebody else. Okay, and then I heard tag teaming boldly because of these cloned tethered devices. Okay, and then I put an example of an app that's on my phone. It's called Call and Text on Other Devices. Okay, this is an app that I can't delete. And then I wrote some of the permissions down here. Call and text on other devices. That's the app. Read and write call log. Okay, so those are two of the permissions. You're allowed to erase or modify the call log. Okay, you're allowed to share contact data without the owner's knowledge. Apps will also have access to the accounts on your phone that created contacts. Okay, so what is that? Any email. Okay, and it doesn't say that it doesn't say that you had to have created those contacts. Like, you could literally have sent out one email to anybody, and they'll create that as a contact, or they can create contacts on their end and then just get into your email. So that's how they have access. I don't know, it just says that this app is allowed to have access to any account on your phone that has created a contact. This app is allowed to send text messages. This may result in unexpected charges by sending messages without your confirmation. Like, what? Allows a publisher app. I don't even have a publisher app, so whatever app it is in my phone that I can't delete, to appoint valid ad ID directly or indirectly. So they can just put your ad ID into anything. Allows app to accept cloud to device messages sent by these app services. This app service. Using this service will incur data usage, okay, and cause excessive use of data. Allowed to view network information such as what networks entail any device connected. Okay, they can get info on any device connected and the networks connected to that device. Allows app to create network sockets and uses a custom network protocol. The network sends data to the internet browser. I don't know what I wrote here. I was probably really tired. But anyways, these apps connect even if you don't have your data hooked up. Okay, so whether or not you have your data hooked up, your SIM card in, it still connects. Okay, these apps connect through the internet service through this customized socket. Okay, the network sends data to the internet. So if your phone's off, your SIM is out, they're still able to have access to your device like this, as if it's being sent from you. Okay, which is completely illegal. Very intrusive permissions there. Okay, so this next one is called evidence catching them in delusion. There's like they're getting caught up, and people are realizing that this person's like fucking delusional with the story that they created and what they were going off of and how much they believed it. Okay, somebody wanted to sacrifice you for your gifts. Okay, this was spiritual gifts, because they're spiritual lack, they're spiritual broke, they're empty, okay, and addicted to doing voodoo around the clock. This could be why they're empty, like spiritually. It is why. Invested into surveillancing to torment. Okay, so this person does this to a lot of people. They invest in surveillancing to torment people. Okay, in surrounding them with wicked slander and internet bullying, trolling. This strategy is enforced to have you retaliate, and then they could get something on you. So if they don't have anything on you, then they'll surveillance you and stalk you and make you snap pretty much so that you retaliate and they'll have something. So the fact that you haven't retaliated is like they just got nothing other than more charges. You were gifted financial stability from a loved one in their passing, okay? And side note, this passing was a betrayal. Okay, it was a 10 of Swords betrayal. They wanted you killed because they have already stolen this money. This gift. People are now very aware that this is fraud and this is motive. took action to defame your character with fraudulent documents to give people perspective, to move forward in taking mad actions to betray and kill the real Queen of Pentacles, incriminated themselves by listening to this liar. Okay, this person is like a miser. The only time they weren't miserable is when they were plotting to have you attacked and killed. Okay, this is like all they cared about. This is all they talked about. Okay, this is a chronic backstabber. Chronic backstabber. Okay, so somebody's in jail. Or somebody has evidence to convict. Okay, because I heard convicted very clearly. Convicted. And this is what they wanted for somebody else, either them to be convicted, attacked, and killed. Okay. Hence the framing, hence the fraudulent documents to attack. So that's probably a good thing, right? If they're relying on you that hard that people were actually attacking you, right? They knew what would get to people's heart. And the fucked up thing is that these are all the things that they were doing to frame you with through this tethered device, right? This clone device, these clone devices. There's evidence to convict. So if they're not, you know, the cops are on that dumb shit again. Oh, shit. I'm tired. I don't want to pull cards. Have a good day, people.